Sugar or sweetener, darling?
Well, I usually take sweetener, but until the christening's over, I think I'm going to need the energy. Sugar, please.
I think it's terribly brave of you to tackle all this catering. Why on earth didn't Redvers get some firm in to do it?
Well, he was going to.
What happened?
There was something about them he didn't like.
What was that?
Their prices.
Why do you let him get away with it? You should have been more firm about it.
Oh, I am sometimes. He doesn't get everything his own way.
When?
Well, when he gets me really angry, I don't stir his tea. My buns through the glass, will you? But don't open the door until they're done, or they'll all go yuck.
I think there's something I ought to tell you about me.
What's that, dear?
I don't know an awful lot about buns.
Oh, well, never mind.
Oh, I don't mind. In fact, I have every intention of continuing that state of happy ignorance.
Does Dolly not like home baking?
Not enough to do his own. Which I always find rather conclusive, don't you?
Oh, they're going on quite nicely.
Well, that's nice. I can't say I like them about the house, but I wouldn't wish them any harm. Drink your coffee.
Oh, I'll get to it in a minute.
Take a breather, Aileen. You're a grandmother now.
Oh, I know. Isn't it exciting?
Yes, it must be.
But not before time. My daughter's in her 30s, you know. She always was cautious, even as a child.
You've never stopped moving since I entered the house.
Oh, I don't mind. I think these family occasions call for home baking.
What's your lord and master doing as his contribution to the extra workload?
Oh, we split it down the middle. I do the food, he sees to the wine.
You don't do all that in restaurants, do you, Redvers?
Every time. Never fails. It brings a sneer to the face of the wine waiter, which only stiffens my resolve never to give him a tip. It's rather a vigorous little claret, this. Inclined to be a little tangy.
Tastes a bit sour to me.
That's the word I was looking for. Sour. It should do very well for that christening lot.
You're not looking forward to that christening, are you?
Well, I always find things a bit fraught, you know, on these emotional occasions. If a chap doesn't keep his wits about him, he's liable to dispense his better wines.
I'm sure you'll have everything under control, Redvers.
Oh, I've seen it happen, Trolly. Sudden burst of good spirits, and you'll suddenly find habitual lager drinkers are swilling the way through your Chateau bottled.
Terrible.
I don't find furnishing a bit to the chaps who appreciate it, you know.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Redvers.
Or even to the unskilled. I mean, if they really need it, as a sort of relaxation against some nag of a wife. Fill a glass, Tony.
Well, just a drop, Redvers.
Oh, nonsense. Fill it up. Every man needed it, you do. My heart bleeds to see you in such a pitiful condition.
What pitiful condition?
So incurably married.
We're all of us married, Redvers.
I know. But some of us manage to lead an active life. You ever thought of joining Husbands Anonymous?
Diana and I are very happily married, Redvers.
If she called you now, you'd spill all that right down your trousers.
Only if she called sharply.
It's the only way she ever does call you. She uses her tongue as a whip on you.
That's not true.
Look, Tolly, when you first moved in next door, we thought she was trying to housebreak a poodle.
Nothing's perfect. What about the faults in your own marriage?
Faults in my marriage? Don't be ridiculous. We have the ideal marriage.
Who has?
You know, thingamabob and
Oh, what's her name?
You know who I mean. Mrs. Potter.
Aileen.
Aileen, that's right.
An ideal marriage.
Absolutely.
What makes you think that? Now, come on, Rivers, tell me, what makes you think that?
Well, I mean, it's Like a decent pair of shoes, isn't it? Better they fit, the less you feel them. Mind you, it wasn't always an ideal marriage.
You do surprise me.
A sticky patch right at the beginning, you know, before she got used to my little ways.
Went through a bad time, did you?
I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't like to go through that again.
How long did that last?
Oh, all of 10 days.
Must have been terrible for you.
It was very tricky indeed. Mind you, I'd have shaped her up quicker than that if we hadn't been on our honeymoon. Somehow you don't seem to have the same grip on them, do you, when you're on honeymoon? Here, that's all.
No more from you.
Come on, nonsense. Never mind what Diana says.
I don't care what Diana says. I don't care what Diana says.
You, never had any children, did you?
No, we've never had children. People are always saying that. You never had children, have you? Followed by that diagnostic look. No, we've never had children because we've never wanted children. It's a decision we made. Nothing sinister about it. It's just a rational decision arrived at by two rational human beings. No children. Not that we've got anything against children, in a general way.
We had two.
Yes, I know you had two, Edwards.
The girl came first. I always wanted a boy, I remember.
So, you felt just the same about her when she arrived?
Yes, I did, exactly the same, yes.
I knew it.
I still wanted a boy.
You got a boy later.
I should damn well think so. I made it quite clear to Aileen that I wouldn't be fobbed off a second time.
It's hardly her fault.
Well, whose fault is it?
Well, no one's. I mean, it's fate.
Rubbish. Just that I didn't make my wishes clear enough in the first place. I mean, that's the sort of thing you've got to do with Aileen, you see. I mean, she means well, bless her, but you've got to hammer the point a bit.
You're the man for hammering a point.
You can't run a commercial organisation as big as Pottermint's without learning a thing or two about man management.
But Aileen's a woman, Redvers.
Same thing. Except, of course, they're a bit more keen on the canteen facilities. You met my daughter, haven't you?
Yeah, yes, several times.
Yes. What do you think of her?
Well, I liked her.
Really? You don't think she's a bit lacking in sparkle?
Well, it's true, I suppose she's a fairly serious sort of person.
Yeah, she is, isn't she? Serious is the word. As in hospital bulletin. If I ever have to ring up a ward and inquire about my daughter's health, and they say, oh, she's returned to normal, condition serious, I know exactly what they mean. It's him I'm so sorry for.
Who?
Fellow she married.
Herbert.
Well, he must have been, mustn't he?
Isn't that his name?
What?
Herbert.
Is it? I don't know. All I think of him is that poor devil.
What do you call him when he's here?
I've never spoken to him much. He usually leaps into some sort of life if I shout, oi, or hey, you. Aileen! Is that Aileen?
Oh, Redvers, I'm in the middle of my buns.
What's his son-in-law's name?
I know it, Redvers, as well as I know my own. It's just that when you shout at me, everything goes blank. It's in my address book somewhere.
Hard to believe, isn't it? First whisper of something to organise and they go to pieces. You wouldn't think that baking a few buns could reduce a woman to that state, would you?
My son-in-law's name is Johnson.
Not his surname. What's his Christian name?
Oh, I'm sorry. His first name is, Oh, there you see what you've done. It's gone again.
I'm afraid she's upset.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'll soon smooth things over. I'm an old hand at it. After all, that's what marriage is about, isn't it? Bending over backwards to make life as easy as possible for the female of the species.
Now sit down there, drink your coffee. Don't move for at least 5 minutes. Ignore him. Forget him.
Oh, that's the trouble. Every time he shouts at me, I forget everything.
Oh, nothing like home baking, is there? Delicious smell in here. bit overloaded with vanilla essence, but...
Don't start, Redvers.
Now, look, there's no need for either of you ladies to take anything personally. If you'll just trust a nose that has spent a lifetime in the confectionery industry.
Lifetime is a word I keep remembering.
I consider the overuse of vanilla essence as the mark of a parvenu. Oh, Tolly, look at those.
You keep out of this, Tolly.
Say what you like about the little woman.
Oh, what has he been saying about the little woman?
Oh, nothing, nothing.
She's got a pretty good line in small buns,
How
eh?
patronising can you get?
Look at
Oh,
that, eh?
Redvers! Now look what you've done.
Something wrong?
All my buns have gone yuck.
All the women in a complete panic, of course.
Why is that?
I don't know, something to do with the hormones.
Oh, what are they going to be in a panic about?
This christening thing tomorrow.
Oh, if you got one tomorrow, I got one tomorrow, too.
I know, it's the same one.
Oh, is it? Oh, jolly good. Nice to have a familiar face about it.
You are ready at this end, are you?
What? Oh, yes, yes. Don't worry. Drop of water in the font, nothing to it.
You'll come back for a drink afterwards, of course.
Who's going to be there?
Oh, all sorts of idiots. But I want you there, all the same. You know, as a man of the cloth, you'll have to stop just taking the invitations that you think you're going to enjoy.
You need some support?
I think so.
All right. And give us a hint. Who's going to be there? Who have I got to make a special effort to be present to?
Your wife, for one.
She never said anything.
And my daughter.
Oh. Well, that rather serious one.
I only got one.
Well, at least you knew when to stop. Why is your daughter going to be there?
We rather felt that we had to invite her. As it's her infant you're going to be christening. She's the mother.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Yes, yes. Oh, well, then you had to ask her, didn't you? Your son going to be there?
What's he got to do with it?
That's quite lively.
You're right, he is. Too damn lively, if you ask me. It's about time he settled down and stopped
Enjoying himself.
Yeah. I don't know what it is with Christianity and me, but it always catches me just in the crook of the elbow. Oh. You sleep, Aileen? You sleep, Aileen? No need for you to wake up. Don't disturb yourself. Just a little twinge of neuralgia in the crook of the arm. No need for us both to be awake. I sleep, Aileen? Oh, couldn't you sleep either?
What is it?
What is it? We're waking up with this nagging pain.
Well, in my case, it's invariably you, dear.
Then I suppose tomorrow's shindig's churning round in my mind.
Oh, the family all round us again.
Yeah. They do know there's a convenient train back at 4:35.
They'll be coming by car, dear.
Oh, God. It's time this frittering away of our natural resources was stopped, you know. Won't be a scrap of oil left for that poor little mite we're going to christen tomorrow.
I think they use water, dear.
Water? Oh, how kind. And, Aileen, while you're up, would you bring an aspirin with it?
Now, Mother, you don't want her spoiling. She'll grow up unmanageable and run off with some fool with orange hair and a safety pin through his nose.
Well, I was only going to carry her into the house. I don't think all that'll happen between here and the house.
Herbie can carry her. Leave her alone. She thinks she's a miracle, and he alone knows the secret of the magic wand. How are you, Mother?
Quite well, thank you, dear.
How are you coping with, now he's retired?
Oh, we get on very nicely.
My God, you've got stamina.
Oh, Herbie, do you need some help?
No thanks, Mum. I can manage fine.
Of course he can manage. They don't need all the attention you give yours. Just leave them to it. They flounder about a bit, but they muddle through. Oh, Herbie. No, Mother, leave him alone. He's only seeking attention.
Ah, Herbie, you know about engines. Listen to this. Think she's missing on one? We'll try again later.
There. Nasty noise, wasn't it?
What's wrong with her?
Could just be a sparking plug. She's certainly missing on one side.
Hello, Pops.
Elizabeth?
Oh, you've put weight on.
Rubbish. Tea's made. Would you care for a cup?
I'd love one.
Good. Pour me one at the same time.
How many sugars?
2, please. All right, 1.
You haven't told me how I look.
Oh, you look fine. Fine.
Well, I've no right to. I didn't have an easy time. It's very unpleasant, you know.
What's it? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Well, you'll be better, of course, when you're dressed up for the christening.
I am dressed up.
Couldn't you use a bit of colour somewhere?
I'm not the type.
Your mother wears colours.
And look what happened to her.
Who's a little sweetheart then? And who made her cry?
Yes, who did make her cry?
She just started.
Yes, I can vouch for that.
She'll be all right in a minute.
I hope she's not going to cry every time I leave her.
You used to cry rather a lot.
Well, not excessively.
Seemed excessive at the time. Middle of the night. I remember I used to get quite exhausted just watching your mother walk you up and down.
Well, let's go and make her more comfortable then, shall we? Poor little
Oh,
love.
Mother, I can manage these basic routines.
She says you're going to have to pour your own, old man.
Oh, right.
You do a lot of that.
What's that, Pops?
Pouring your own.
Oh, well, we do share the chores, you know, especially now since the baby.
Fake. Making a rod for your own back.
Well, how do you think she's looking?
All right. Lacks colour, of course, but I mean, she always was.
Colour?
Yes. I mean, we're both very fond of her, you know, her mother and I, but let's face it, I mean, she does lack personality, doesn't she?
She blows bubbles.
Those bubbles. Elizabeth?
I thought you meant the baby. You think Betty lacks personality?
Yes. Nothing to worry about, you know. I mean, lots of people do. Look at yourself, for instance.
We both lack personality.
Oh, there you are, you see. What sort of a basis is that for a marriage? Well, you've got everything going for you. If only you could just persuade her to use a bit of colour.
Did you bring the bag in with the baby's nappies? I can't... Now, what's wrong with you?
Nothing. Nothing.
Why has Herbie lost his colour?
Me too.
The tea's going cold.
What have you been saying to him?
I saying to him?
Nothing, really.
Well, he's been saying something.
No, he hasn't.
My father, the fount of tactfulness.
Just making conversation.
Conversation.
That's it.
You stand there quite white, telling me it's only conversation.
Yes, I'm telling you it was only conversation.
Don't you speak to me like that.
Well, if you don't want me to speak to you, don't ask me questions.
Well, there's no need to answer it now.
What tone?
You know perfectly well what.
Do they argue a lot, those two?
What's going on in there?
I don't know, some sort of a damn silly row. I don't think either of them knew how it started. I wouldn't interfere if I were you. Pity it's a girl.
Oh, Redvers, how can you say that?
Looks healthy enough, anyway.
Well, of course she's healthy.
Just as well. Going to need all the strength it's got. Coming from a broken home. What are they going to call it?
Juliana.
Juliana?
Juliana Johnson. I think it's quite musical.
They're starting a family or forming an orchestra.
It's Betty's choice.
Oh, I'm quite sure it wasn't.
Well, I better go and make peace in there.
What do you want to give her a Dutch name for? Might as well have called her Gouda.
Oh, God, Cousin Redvers.
Smile, damn it. Don't want any arguments this time.
Then stand up to him for once. Don't let him boss you about.
I always stand up to him.
You're not going to leave that there, are you, Stanley?
Oh, well, I thought that...
No. I should just put it over there. There's a good chap. Hello, Rachel. You're facing the wrong way.
Wrong way?
Don't start, Emily.
He still lives here, doesn't he? We're at the right house, so ask him how it could possibly be the wrong way.
It's better for the overall parking plan if you're the other way round. I suggest you go out into the road, turn around and reverse back into here. All right? Right, off you go. I'll see you back. Go on. All clear behind. Go on.
Damn fool!
You're quite right, Emily. You're going much too fast. Right, off you go, friend. You'll be all right this time. Lightning never strikes in the same place twice.
Where's your father?
Oh, he's out there somewhere playing General Montgomery.
It's time we were getting ready.
Oh, leave him, Mother, as long as he's happy. Anything's better than having him underfoot.
Couldn't drive a rag and bone cart. Enough. Over there. All your lot. Never seen such idiots behind a steering wheel.
What was all that horn blowing?
It's the only button they know how to operate. Give them a bit of straightforward reversing to do, and they're completely lost.
And why was Stanley crying?
Maudlin drunk. Well, you know how some people react to these emotional occasions?
I think it was very sweet.
Yes, possibly. I shouldn't sit too near him in church if I were you. I saw his lips moving. I'm damn sure he wasn't praying. What's wrong with Anne?
Anne? Do we have an Anne with us?
No, we don't. That's just the point. Why couldn't they have called the child Anne?
Oh, Redvers, now promise me you're not going to start interfering.
Me? Interfering? When have you ever known me to interfere? You're not wearing that hat, are you? Right, everybody in their own cars. Come along, let's have you.
I'm sorry, darling. It really was beautiful.
Be here any minute, you say?
Yes, so they've sorted themselves out of my drive.
Not a difficult drive, is it?
No, nothing to it. I left them all facing the right way. Fortunately, I had the foresight to leave my own car out in the street. Somebody's got to.
Here they are now.
Ah. That's it, just about there. Lovely. Now, come in here, Douglas. Thank you. Over there, you. Stanley, not there. Stanley! Stanley, will you... Stanley, over there!
How come it was my fault? Why am I getting the treatment?
You knew I wanted Juliana.
I thought we were getting Juliana.
I'm afraid it was a lost cause, dear. Your father's too friendly with the vicar. But Anne's really quite a nice name. I'm sure you'll get used to it.
Went rather well, I thought.
Yes. Particularly the vintage stuff.
Sturdy little infant.
She enjoyed herself under the bonnet.
New bonnet, hmm?
No, under the bonnet of my car.
What was she doing under the bonnet of your car?
Her father was changing the plugs. We had to pop her onto the radiator, you see, so that he could have both hands free.
Good mechanic, is he?
Oh, excellent. First class. Tends to leave rather a lot of fingerprints all over his daughter, but...
Is that why his wife was cross with him?
Possibly, yeah. Seemed to argue rather a lot.
Young couples do. I used to argue with Jane.
Do you really?
I think it was Jane.
Oh, surely you'd remember if it were.
Would I?
Oh, yeah. Aileen was never one much for arguing. I mean, I'd have noticed if she had been. Wouldn't I?
You would?
Would I? Yeah. There you are, you see. We'll give them complete freedom. Let them join in the conversation. And you'll never know, you see. They might have been arguing all these years.
I don't think it does to pry too deeply into these things.
Well, absolutely right. Otherwise, I mean, it would mean listening to every damn thing they say.